Hey everybody, this is Rebel Builder and I have here my modified first order transporter. Now if you haven't seen my first video where I kind of described the features of this, go check that out. I'm going to put a link up here in the cards right now. But what I'm going to do in this video is give you a tutorial, and it's not really going to be a step-by-step kind of thing. I'm going to dissect this and kind of give you a little behind the scenes and describe how you could do this yourself. We'll start here with the lid. Now, the functionality is the same, and the shape here with these wedge plates is exactly the same as before. So really, you just need to extend this with some plates, both underneath and on the bottom. And one thing about these changes too, I extended the length in the front by 12 studs. Now these changes to the front section are simple. You know, if you think this is too long, if you want to go 10 studs, 8 studs, you know, you can make those changes, you know, with the same kind of technique, so that's not a big deal. All right, let's pop off this side panel here. Now you can see these are the 1x4 bricks with the studs on the side. So I added 3 of these, and then as far as this section here, I just repeated the same pattern, you know, with these inverted slopes here on the inside, the transparent red plates on top, and the same with the bottom too. Black bricks with dark bluish gray studs here, and you just kind of extend that however many you choose to. Like I said, I added 3 of these, so that equals 12 studs. And especially for this front section, you're gonna want to keep these really handy. I had to go back and kind of look at the directions on how to recreate that front slope there, you know, because you kind of do have to really dissect it, and I wanted to preserve, you know, exactly how the set was. I just wanted to make it longer. Now for the side panel, you know, there's these sloping pieces on either side, and I think the original set those touched. So we'll flip it around to the back, and you can see I just added some plates here. You know, so we have a row of dark bluish gray, then a row of light bluish gray here. And then on this side, I saw a model online that was displayed at some convention or something, and it had shades of dark gray going up the sides. So that's what I just tried to recreate. I have one of these 4x6 plates, you know, with you know, the tile section in the middle, and then just put these in here, kind of creating this upward looking dark bluish gray slope. But really, you could kind of, you know, come up with your own pattern and tweak that however you wanted. And not a big deal, but I did preserve these slopes here on the bottom edge of the panel, and the same with these black round plates. Let's take a look at the bottom of the craft here. I preserved this axle and this functionality of the front ramp here. You know, you pull this and the front ramp drops down. These 2 pieces in the red sections are from the original design. So I extended it here with this yellow piece, and maybe I've got a 4 long axle and say a 10 long axle there. I'm not exactly sure what the original part was, but you'd have to play with that, especially if you do the length a little different. So here I did add one of these 6x8 Technic bricks here in front. You know, we had 2 of them before, so I just put another one on the front, repeated the same these bracket pieces. I had black, lots of black ones, so I went ahead and used those. You can't see them once you put the plate on, so you can use whatever color you have on hand. And I just experimented too with some bricks underneath here, these tan bricks, you know, just kind of building that section up, holding these black plates here, you know, the bottom of the craft where the stormtroopers stand. Really, you know, I think I have 3 sections of plates there, using these guys to kind of hold it together. And the wheels too, I just moved the wheels to the very front. You know, you don't need to have 6 sets of wheels. Let's go back to the lid here for a minute. There are spring-loaded shooters here on the set. I decided to take those off. There is some sort of feature on the model that we see in the movie, so I did a pair of 1x3 slopes and then just a grill tile on the top just to add some detail. And then I did a quick modification to the cannon. I removed the stud shooters and wanted to do something that looks a little more like a, you know, more of a model looking thing. So what I have here is one of the bricks here with a turntable, 2 stud jumpers, and then this is a brick with studs on either side, And then my cannons here are these camera pieces. I'm not exactly sure what Bricklink calls these. And just kind of throwing some greebles in detail, you know, a 1x1 round brick here, a flat brick, and then a couple of lightsaber handles for the end of the cannon. And these just hook onto the side. I got a grill tile up here, and then this is one of those hinge plates. The next set of modifications had to do with the tower here. I wanted to thin this guy up as much as I could, and I really didn't get as much as I wanted to. But in the original set, there's an extra row of studs here, so I got to shorten the whole thing up by one stud. And what I did is I removed kind of a section of the parts that were there, and I think there was a little extra handle on the back of this guy. So I took that off, so this is able to fit within 4 studs instead of 5. This guy still slides in there. Move these guys up, and this guy still closes. The other thing I did with the tower is I moved it back and extended this by 4 studs here. You can see this extra plate on the back here. Now, if you look at, say, the movie or pictures of the vehicle, it's clear that this tower is further back behind from this little hatch here, and I wanted to preserve this hatch, the functionality of the stormtrooper here. I don't have a guy in there, but you can see the chair popping up. You know, you get into some you've got some Technic pieces and this gear and everything. I didn't want to mess with that. That was kind of further down the rabbit hole than I wanted to go, so I decided to keep this section and extend the back by 4 studs so that I could slide the whole tower back. So for this back section extension, we have kind of the same situation where we have this panel here that comes off. For this back section, I got into more dissection kind of than I wanted to. I wanted to preserve this section here, you know, with these vents. This is all tied into, you know, the gear mechanism here. So I wasn't messing with that, not messing with the location of that little hatch there. So I rebuilt this whole section here by this 4 stud plate. And really, it's just taking off everything, putting a plate here, putting a plate on the bottom, and then I suppose as part of my bottom design, I had to move this guy back and, you know, extended this a little more. So that accounts for this extra 4 axle on the bottom there. Okay, I've popped some more parts off here. So this is the very back section. This hasn't changed. This 6x6 with the wedge plates on top. And then I popped off the whole tower section. So we've got this section here with the hatch, some additional 4 stud plates here. So I have a 4x4 here, the 4x8, and then the 4x6. So I think this 4x8 was up here next to this hatch, and these are the 2 additional parts. Now hopefully this part makes sense, but before we had these Technic beams running through, and I had to extend those. I think there was a 1x4 here, and so what I did is I put this 1x8 next to it. I've got some black pins, and I put another 1x4 here, so this whole thing could extend, and it has to stick out further behind here so that you can stick this plate on here. And again, for this side section here, just trying to replicate what was there before. So adding some of these bracket pieces, and then this is just all bricks that you're extending out, and then more of the bracket pieces. I think if I was going to go back and do it again, I would replace these with light bluish gray, because you can kind of see those, you know, even when you put the side panel on. So if you're digging in and you've got those parts, that would be a recommendation I have. I'm going to throw some of these parts back on here. So you can see how it all fits together. Here is that last side panel section. Now this was kind of hard coming up with a design that I really liked, but there's a 4x6 section here that is preserved from the original set. Same with these flaps on the side, the little jump engines on the bottom. So the original design has just one row of the 2x1 cheese slopes. So I came up with this idea to do these 4x2 round slopes. So you could kind of experiment you know, with maybe some different sloping pieces, but that's what I came up with. So here underneath, I have a 4x8, these jump jet pieces, you know, from the original set, and then a 2x4 and a 1x6, and just kind of trying to connect it all on there. Slope pieces along here. And so you have a section that is 4 studs wider than what we had before. And just like the front section, this guy just hooks onto those side brackets. And you can see what I'm talking about. We've got that light tan section in there. This guy fell off. Those tan sections really kind of show through that little gap. So, you know, if I was going to work on this some more, I would replace those for sure. Now, I think this happened last time I did a tutorial, but I've already got one extra piece. So if anybody sees where that's supposed to go, leave me a comment down below, please. So there it is, my first order transporter tutorial. Now, my intention with this video, and say all of my mocks, all of my other tutorial videos, I'm not trying to give you the be-all end-all on this is the way it should be. I'm trying to inspire you guys to kind of not be afraid to dig into your old sets, take these things apart, and see what you guys can do. I would love it if some of you dive into this and you come up with a different design, especially the length. You know, this is a bit of a topic of discussion here. So if some of you do a modification but you don't do it this much, you know, you come up with an 8 stud extension, I want to see those pictures. So leave me a comment down below. I want to see that stuff. And let's discuss, you know, if you guys come up with better ideas for here. Look, hey, I want to see that stuff. I want to inspire you guys, and I want you guys to inspire me back. That's what this channel is about. That's why I do this. And that's what this hobby of Lego is supposed to be about. So let's have a discussion down in the comments below. You know, maybe we can collectively kind of come up with an even better design. Maybe somebody has a really good design for the front section. Maybe somebody comes up with a better cannon. But let's have that discussion down in the comments. And again, with these tutorials, if you guys have better ideas on how I can present this kind of thing to you, leave those comments down below. My hope is that you can maybe pause the video and reverse engineer some of these sections a little bit. You know, that's a challenge in itself. But also thumbs up this video, and if you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button. I'm always working on new videos and you don't want to miss out on those. So thanks for watching, everybody. I'll be back soon.